You excited about paying triple the amount for your property insurance this year in the state of California? Well, I'm sorry to say, but there's an insurance crisis happening in the state of California. But actually, it's not limited to the state of California. Everybody thinks these insurance companies that are going to be leaving California, that it's all just California. But actually, states like Florida, parts of Texas, they're also feeling this major increase in insurance prices. Interesting thing is really nobody's talking about this as a crisis. And I'm here to say this is a crisis, right? Because we are in California. Let's talk about what's going on in Cali. We do have several companies like State Farm and Allstate that are either leaving, have left, or going to leave. State Farm last year said, oh, we're leaving. And then they came out and said something, we're going to leave if the state doesn't allow us to increase our rates by 30%. When I saw that statement, I was like, I thought they already left already. But either way it goes, there are companies that are either leaving or talking about leaving the state. But also, I know people in Florida who are also experiencing severe increases in property insurance. In the world of commercial real estate, talking to owners, developers, and me being a part of that group as well, I've seen property insurance go up as much as 3 times the previous policy. And I've had that confirmed. Last week, I was at the NorCal CCIM meeting, and I asked a question to a developer panel, how are you guys dealing with insurance costs? And there was a variety of answers. But what was consistent is that costs have risen about triple what they were year over year. And 30% increase is modest when it sounds like a tripling is happening. So to me, that's a crisis. Why is that a crisis? Because if you own, now I'm talking about investors, homeowners too, although the homeowner policies haven't jumped as much, but a lot of homeowner policies are just being dropped by the carriers and not being renewed. But in the world of investment property, this is a problem because the yearly cost, the monthly cost of insurance is a part of your operating cost. Most of which is, most loans, it's going to be escrowed into your mortgage payments. So those payments are beginning to skyrocket, right? Your ability to service the loan, service the debt with the net operating income is being strained. And a lot of times, all of the cash flow or a significant amount of cash flow that will come to the investor is now going to the insurance company, and or properties are not able to make these payments. So in my mind, that's a crisis and nobody's really talking about it, right? So what is the cause of this crisis? In California, they're going to blame the wildfires. The wildfires, so many wildfires that we've had to cover. And I'm in Oakland, right, in particular, and we're told so many insurance companies are not doing Oakland. And I asked a couple people, I said, Oakland hasn't had a wildfire since 1991. So I could see in some of the other places where there specifically was wildfires, we haven't had one since 91. So I'm sitting here saying, well, why are insurance carriers not doing Oakland? Well, then I heard that, well, actually it's because, they're worried about tenant lawsuits. Tenants get together, they sue landlords. So we're really just more so worried about tenant lawsuits. And then I heard somebody say, well, no, it's the crime. It's the crime. We're worried about people vandalizing and criming properties. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. There's a lot of crime going on for sure, but a lot of that crime has to do with auto insurance. A lot of the crime has to do with auto crime. And auto insurance has not gone up at the rate that property insurance has, or even close to it. So I'm like, what's really going on, right? People in the Florida Gulf Coast. My sister lives in the Fort Myers, Cape Coral area. They've had a few hurricanes, right? And their property was severely damaged by hurricanes. So they're blaming it, hurricanes and all this. And there is a higher occurrence of these events. But it just doesn't seem right, the amount of the increase, the amount of how much these policies are going up by and how many insurance companies are not even doing it, right? And so I don't have all the answers. I ask y'all, if somebody watching this, maybe you have a little bit more perspective. I just wanted to call it to the attention that this is kind of a crisis right now. And it needs to be, we need to figure this out because insurance, you gotta have insurance on a new acquisition where you have a mortgage because they're gonna require it. And that has to be priced into the deal. And the insurance costs alone have killed a lot of deals that I've seen or been a part of, and particularly here in a city like Oakland. Yeah, we're having a tough time right now. But we have not had a wildfire since 1991. It was a bad one, but that was a long time ago, right? So, and people are not in houses, still in catalytic converters under the house like they are in cars. There's tenant lawsuits, but that's not what they're telling us is the issue. So I'm really interested. What is the issue? I would love to get some feedback. This is something I'm going to be looking into more and more. And maybe you guys can have some feedback on this. What's your experience with property insurance in the state of California? What's your experience with property insurance in other states? I know California's got a bad rap right now on a lot of different fronts, so I get that. But when I hear people in Florida and Texas telling me the same thing, it's not just a California thing, right? And one crazy idea, this is a crazy idea I got, is because insurance companies, whether they're property insurance, life insurance, they bring in a lot of money and they invest money. And insurance is actually one of the top investors or lenders in commercial real estate, particularly in Class A office buildings, lenders, and also from a private equity standpoint. So that asset class is having a lot of challenge. And I just wonder if some of the insurance companies have exposure to that. And maybe what they're saying is that, look, we need to really, be aware of some issues or some headwinds in the future. I don't know. That's just a wild, crazy idea, speculation, but it's something going on that's not really being talked about in a major way. Like State Farm come out and say, well, if we can't raise our rates 30%, then we're out of here. They said that after they said that they were already leaving. So it's a head scratcher. What's your feedback on this? How do we deal with this as property owners, investors, developers? You have to have insurance. If it becomes too expensive, how do you deal with it? And then how do you price that into your deals? Give me a comment, give me some feedback. Let's talk about it because we got to fix it. Peace.